There are two things which the Israeli state really excel at right now. One, killing innocent people on a mass scale, and the other is deceit. Now, it is standard practice, you might argue, for states to engage in wartime propaganda at times of conflict. Be that as it may, Israel's current deceit intends specifically to cover up serious war crimes and a massacre, which I think is a better description than a war. This is far too asymmetrical, that is, with one side so much stronger than the other, to be accurately described as war. Now, this is all happening, of course, with the direct complicity of our governments. Thus, this is in part done in our name. Israel official lies have all of that in mind. They wish to manipulate Western public opinion because they fear, with sound grounds, that if public opinion tips decisively against Israel, then politicians will be forced to stop giving a blank check to Israel through arms and diplomatic support. Now, Israel's authorities lie and lie and lie again. They have a track record of doing so, like the Cana massacre of 1996, when they bombed a UN base and killed over 100 civilians and just spread misinformation about it, when they killed the award-winning British filmmaker James Miller by shooting in the head in 2003, likewise, they spun a load of misinformation about it, and when they shot dead the celebrated Palestinian-American journalist Shireen Abu Akleh last year, which they claimed was actually done by Palestinian gunmen. It wasn't, it was done by the state of Israel. Now let's have a recap of some of Israel's deceit in this murderous assault on Gaza. The Israeli authorities keep posting claims that Palestinians are faking their own injuries and deaths, a particularly gruesome form of atrocity denial. Ofer Gendelman, who is one of the spokespeople for the Israeli Prime Minister, posted a clip claiming to show Palestinians faking injuries, declaring triumphantly, Pallywood gets busted again. They keep using this term, Pallywood. Here's the thing, it was actually a clip from a Lebanese film about Palestinians called The Reality. Here's another example, which keeps coming up, which centres on the Palestinian Instagram influencer, Saleh Al-Jafarawi. Now, the claim is he's a crisis actor, something which has been spread by Israel's official account and pro-Israel accounts in general, that he's a crisis actor. Now, I've seen a senior British broadcast journalist share this false claim. One such meme, which has gone particularly viral, mocks him variously as a blood donor, revived corpse, resilient patient, American Idol, tour guide, war correspondent, amongst many other things. The claim he's pretending to be a deeply injured patient is the one which they particularly focus upon. Israel's official account claimed that this patient was him, supposedly of him on his deathbed a couple of days after an alleged airstrike, with, in capitals, most of the machines are disconnected and the ones which have fake stats. But that wasn't him at all. It's another Palestinian, a 16-year-old called Mohammed Zendik, who lost his leg in July before the current conflict began, when Israeli occupation forces invaded Nur Shams refugee camp in the West Bank, where he was visiting because he's a Palestinian citizen of Israel, and the hospital isn't just real, it's actually an Israeli hospital. Now, the revived corpse, in quotes, is actually a Thai child in a ghost costume for Halloween last year. The rest is just him doing his Instagram vlogging. He does singing too. Here's another one. Israel's official Arabic account, run by its Ministry of Foreign Affairs, posted a video of a nurse which went viral, in which she claims Hamas had overrun the Al-Shifa hospital and was stealing all the fuel and morphine, in which she spoke with a non-Palestinian accent.
Can't believe I'm doing this, but the world has to know what is making here. They're taking over the entire hospital. They're taking over the fuel, the medicine.
Now, the hospital said there was no such nurse at the hospital. They deleted it without any explanation. Now, it really is, I mean, it's just so bad. So bad. Turns out she's actually an Israeli-Mexican actor. Now, let's just focus on Al-Shifa Hospital. What we've seen is Israel waged war on Gaza's medical healthcare system, a siege which deprives the hospital of medicine and energy, itself causing mass deaths, with premature babies taken out of incubators and children having their limbs amputated without anaesthetic. They've bombed ambulances, they've bombed the hospital, they've killed doctors, nurses and patients with bullets and bombs. What's left of Al-Shifa Hospital no longer functions as a hospital, but as a first aid treatment centre in which wounded patients are condemned to unnecessary death sentences. Now, the bombing of hospitals, I thought we'd all agreed, after Putin's brutal invasion of Ukraine, was despicable. Indeed, here's Secretary of State Antony Blinken earlier this year.
We can never let the crimes Russia's committing become our new normal. Bucha is not normal. Mariupol is not normal. Irpin is not normal. Bombing schools and hospitals and apartment buildings to rubble is not normal.
Israel's justification for this obscenity, that the Al-Shifa hospital is the command and control centre of Hamas. Now, let's just watch now the BBC debunking this, and it's striking that even the BBC is pushing back on these lies, given how outrageous and large in scale they are.
Israel describes the Al-Shifa hospital as the main headquarters for Hamas's terrorist activity. This IDF animation, posted in late October, claims to represent a Hamas tunnel system underneath the hospital. But having been inside Al-Shifa since early Wednesday, Israel's yet to produce evidence of the tunnels. It has allowed the BBC and Fox News to film at the hospital, though only locations of Israel's choice.
This is what they found.
Israel also released its own 7-minute video, which BBC Verify has analysed. A watch, visible in that video, suggests it was filmed a few hours before the BBC arrived. And this IDF video was posted, then deleted, then reposted, this time without a section referring to an Israeli soldier who'd been held hostage.
I don't know when this was used the last time.
Also in the video, we see a room with an MRI machine.
And if you zoom in and we get some light over here, what you'll be able to see is military equipment.
The BBC was shown the same room. And what we see in the two videos doesn't precisely match. For example, there's one gun in the IDF video, two by the time of the BBC footage. Israel has told BBC Verify this is because more weaponry and terrorist assets were discovered throughout the day.
And as always, an AK-47.
Israel also says its video is a single shot with no edits. But this appears to be an edit. We don't know the reasons for that edit, nor how significant it is. The IDF, though, says suggestions it's manipulating the media are incorrect. The IDF video also shows military equipment in other locations, though we can't verify how it came to be there. And what we see in this IDF video doesn't equate to Israel's description of Al-Shifa as an operational command center for Hamas. The US is using a different phrase, saying Al-Shifa was used as a command and control node. That implies a much smaller facility. Israel is adamant this hospital was a command center, but for now, at least, it's either not found supporting evidence or it's not sharing it. Back to you, Sophie.
So a total lie used to justify destroying a hospital, killing so many of its patients and medical staff, turning it into a mass grave where so many dozens of decomposing bodies meant they had to just put them in a mass grave. Now, there's some other examples related to this. The IDF posting a video in which they claimed they found a calendar listing terrorist names in Arabic, showing each agent's rota for the guarding hostages at the Al-Rantisi Children's Hospital. Turned out it's just, in Arabic, a calendar of days of the week. They offered up the presence of a laptop and CDs as evidence it was a command and control centre. WTF? I don't even know why I need to engage in discussing that. No evidence has been provided to show Al-Shifa was a command and control centre for Hamas. This is a war crime. They attacked a hospital for absolutely nothing, and they should be condemned in the strongest possible terms, and yet Western states refuse to do so when they've done exactly the same things they've denounced Vladimir Putin for in the strongest possible terms. In another case, Israel claimed Palestinian militants had misfired projectiles which hit the hospital. Turned out, according to New York Times analysis, that at least some of those projectiles claimed as Hamas were actually Israeli. After ordering the evacuation of northern Gaza and holding up Al-Shifa hospital as a command and control centre, now they say Khan Yunis in the south is the centre of Hamas. Let's listen to this particularly chilling threat from Israeli spokesperson and propagandist Mark Regev.
You saw what happened to the city of Gaza. Khan Yunis is a centre for Hamas activity as well. We're asking civilians, please vacate the area for your own safety. We don't want to see you caught up in the crossfire.
Okay. So they're making clear there, what happened to Gaza City, total destruction, will now happen to Khan Yunis. Where are those people supposed to flee to? Where are they supposed to flee to? There is nowhere for them to go. The north has been destroyed, and now the south will be destroyed as well. These are epic war crimes, crimes against humanity, committed by a state which is wiping Gaza off the map and inflicting a death rate far higher than conflicts, to give some examples, Bosnia, Yemen, Ukraine, Syria. So they are resorting to lies on a grand scale in a desperate attempt to manipulate public opinion. We need to call them out for what they are, lies, and they are lies in the service of a particular dark, indeed gruesome end, which is covering up the mass slaughter of innocent civilians and the wanton destruction of Gaza with the possible aim of the murderous ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian population. Please like and subscribe. Do share the video to get the message out. You can keep the show on the road on patreon.com/orange84. I'll see you in a bit.